So it is Saturday, January the 4th, and it's time for me to update you on the van again because last night I just worked away and didn't turn the camera on, didn't show what I've been doing, so let me update you. This is the port that I'm going to plug into for my charger inverter. I'll show you in a minute what the exterior looks like on it. Here is my water tank fill, fresh water hookup for hooking up a water hose to it, and then the vent for the water tank. I have insulated the entire van with 1-inch pink foam board. You can buy it at Home Depot or Lowe's, either one. I've got my wiring ran in behind here. I've already cut both of these panels and painted them. I did this last night. We were going to put them on, but the paint wouldn't dry. So in my garage space, I liked having this, I think it's 11/32 plywood. It's right at 1/2 inch, or just under 1/2 inch. I liked having this, that way I can mount anything I need to mount to it anywhere I need to mount. You can just screw right directly into it. Hooks for wakeboards. I had hooks up in here for the kayak paddles and so on and so forth. What I've done differently this time is I painted it white instead of leaving it the raw wood. That way whenever I turn my lights on that are up under here, it gives it a little bit more brightness to it and a little bit more of a, I don't know, a brighter feel to it. I've also built a headboard. I framed it in. I've got my 110 wired for the TV. I've got some more wiring done on the other side of it. And then this right here is the existing wire that was in the van from this light back here. So I cut it off, I pulled the wire down through, rerouted it down into here. That is the one that, as I mentioned before, works off of this switch, the switch on the dash, and then the switch in the rear of the vehicle. I'm going to hook that to those bed lights that I picked up, and I'm going to mount the bed lights up under here on both sides. That way, anytime I need to be able to see into the garage space, or if I ever need to work on my electrical or do anything up under there, period, bump of a switch, I've got lights. Now also on that switch, where is it at? Right now it's temporarily wired in here. This wire right here, I'm gonna run back to somewhere about here and put just one LED here in the cabin. So on that switch, the garage lights and these turn on at the same time. Just for anytime you need to bump a light switch in a hurry, and it works out great. So for mounting this, I'm screwing directly into the metal frame using these self-drilling pan head screws. They hold pretty good. Boom, boom, boom. Do that all the way down. And then I don't know what I'm doing next. Probably will start on this wiring. I do not have my inverter yet, so since I do not have the inverter, I can't do a lot of it, but I could go ahead and wire up the DC panel and show you guys how that works. But for now, I'm gonna get to work putting this one on, screwing this one the rest of the way off. Also, this right here, I'm gonna put a microwave in on this build. So, all right, well, I'll see you guys whenever I get it further along. Till then, it is one like I've got one on my solar, so this shows me exactly what my solar charged for the day. This one right here is my DC. So this is all of my DC power in the van. Everything DC that doesn't have to go through the inverter comes through this. This monitors it, and it'll tell me exactly how much I use. So you should put another fuse right here, but as short as around as it is, and I've got this switch in here, and this is all fused, I'm taking a gamble and I'm leaving this unfused. I'm sure a lot of people will hate on that. But so I run my hot into here, the negative comes off of this pole into there, and then behind this cover is all of my 12 volt stuff. I like to leave these big loops in here, and a lot of people will say, why are you leaving these loops? They're service loops. If I ever need to change anything in here, I can cut this apart and there's extra wire without me having to open the van up or pull new wires. There's nothing more aggravating than trying to do something and not having enough wire to run it. So already thought of that on the front side, and that's what I've got going on there. So that's pretty much my power setup. These wires go up to the solar panel, which you see right here, they're not actually ran, they're just stubbed out in here. But the power goes from the solar panels through here into this right here, and this makes sure that you're not overcharging your batteries. So right now it's saying that the batteries are in good standings. It would actually be, and I believe they call it float mode, to where it's not giving it the full amount of power that's coming off of the panel. And then from there, it throws the power into here and through here and into your battery, and that's how your solar charges. Well, then also off of this lug and this lug, I've got to go this direction, follow this set of cables, and up here where I've drawn the box out is where my inverter is going to go. So these two wires, and I've got to run one more. Now that I've got the bed framed out, I can run it. These wires will get a typical drop cord plug end on them, and they will plug directly into the inverter. This plugs into the AC side of the inverter. This is for the charger portion of it. I've already cut the hole in the side of the van, put the port in the van. I think I showed that in a previous episode. If not, I will cut it in now. But anyways, these wires go to the AC portion of that. This goes to the shunt. Then you have a wire that will run from each of these down through here and into the DC power side of the inverter. This is the AC coming out. So that's how my electrical is laid out under here. Now that I've got this framed out and that much is done, I can start putting my water tank in here. I've got a 40-gallon tank that sits right in here to this side of the wheel well. Leaves this side open for garage space. And then a shower pan that goes in the very back there that is a 36 by 30 stainless steel with, I believe, a 6-inch lip is what the lip is on it. Drains located dead center. And I frame out just above where that lip is. There are two drawers that go right here on 50-inch slide hinges that slide out the back over top of the pan. That way I've got two very large just drawers to put whatever in. Well, that's the update for now. I'm going to get back to work. I've got a lot to do, obviously, in a short time period to do it. So I'll update you guys whenever I'm somewhere further along. Until then, see ya. Alright, now I've got the AC input wired in. So there is also terminals for the output side right here. Instead of using those though, I'm going to go ahead and put I've got my 110 wiring ran to right here. I'm going to go ahead and put just regular old plugs on them. Plug in there instead of using these. The reason why I'm going to do that is if for some reason I ever have an issue with this and I'm still near power, I can unplug these, plug directly in, and still provide power inside the home. So there's that. Let me button it up. These I'm not going to hook up until last. So the next step is put the cover on this, then start on the back end with, I'm going to start on the neutral and hook up the shunt, wire it in using this, so on and so forth. So, all right, I'm going to get to it. See you guys further along. All right, accordingly up there, you've got, for what I did was hot is my red, ground or common, which would be in a house and in a household it's white, so I use white for that, and then green for my actual ground. So I've ran that up under the inverter. It comes out over here. Now I've got to take this cover off and actually wire this in. So I'm going to do that. I'll get back with you whenever I get done with that. I've got one on either side of the van now. Okay, but let me turn these on so we can see. And then try to adjust this camera so I can crawl up under the bed with it. All right, so now if the bed's in the way, it's not easier to get down here. What we have here is my lithium battery from Rixson Industries. There's 275 amp hours here. I've got another one being shipped to me. We're going to have a total of 550 in this van build. Now, from the batteries, you come up to the switch that controls a lot of stuff. If you cut that off, that just killed the power to everything. But these, remember, are on the actual battery for the van up front. That is the wiring from the initial FedEx van. So that's why those lights didn't go off and everything else cut off. You see the lights on my charge controller went off. There's no lights on any of this, but there's no power flowing through it anymore. But anyways, flip this back on, push the button, and we should have power restored. Yep, there it comes back. So this is basically the hot lug for the battery. This is pretty much the negative lug. See the wire coming into here, and then so on right here. Now this other wire is this. I'm not 100% sure what this switch does entirely, but I do know that it protects the lithium battery. And this is something that if you order a battery from Rixson Industries, the one that I got this battery from and my heater from, that guy builds all of this stuff. So this is what it looks like inside it. We can see that there. Yeah, so there's 4 cells in there and they're linked together. He does all of this. There's a little, you can't really see it, there's a little monitor right here that tells exactly how many milliamp variances there are between each cell. It basically tells you all the diagnostic features you could possibly need. Plus, this thing will also keep this battery from being overcharged or undercharged. So that is basically the way that my battery setup works there. Now I've got a mount already back here and up under here for a strap to actually strap the thing in, but because I'm in the middle of the build, I'm not fooling with that right now because I need to open it back up. But these things right here, that is called a shunt. And from there, go to here it is. So these wires run through here behind this panel. They come out over here. They're going to actually go up there and to this little screen. And this shows you how to actually wire it up. Now I labeled which one goes to where. This just shows you what pole to go to. So you choose your wire colors. But this shunt, what it does is it measures the amount of power that flows through here. The cool thing about that is I can put